Hey guys, this is David Osorio, head coach and owner of CrossFit South Brooklyn. We're here with this Inside the Affiliate series to talk about the what, why, and how we do things at our gym that have allowed us to be as successful as we have over the last 10 years. Our goal for you guys is to take this information, steal it, make it your own, and make it better. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Inside the Affiliate. Today we're going to talk about foundations. So we'll talk about what they are, why we think they're important, and how we do them at CrossFit South Brooklyn. So these programs go by different names at different gyms, but they're essentially onboarding courses for new members so they can understand what CrossFit's all about, how to perform the exercises before they get into the group class format. So we're accomplishing 4 things through foundations. 1, like I mentioned, is to learn the exercises from the ground up. This will be their first exposure to things like air squats, snatches, push-ups, pull-ups, so on and so forth. So we want to make sure that we take the time to teach them correctly from the ground up without having to worry about what else is going on in that class. We also have the class format. So CrossFit group classes work a little bit different than most fitness classes, how we do the warm-ups, the strength segments, the different kinds of workouts and conditioning pieces. So this gives them an opportunity to understand how a class works, what's expected of them, and how they can be most successful within those group classes. Additionally, jargon. When you start CrossFit, there's a lot of new movements, EMOMs, AMRAPs, cleans, snatches, all this new stuff. It can be really overwhelming for someone to just roll into a group class and not knowing what things are. It's essentially like we're speaking Greek to them. So this gives your member a new opportunity to learn some of the movements, understand what's going on so they can speak the proper language with you. And then finally, training philosophy. So not only are they going to learn how to do this stuff, they're going to learn why we're doing it. So it's really important to teach your members a little bit about what CrossFit's all about, what fitness really is, why we structure our workouts and our program the way that we do to help them understand what's going on, why they're doing this, and what the real benefits of this training methodology are. Additionally, this is a good opportunity to screen members. So that goes in 2 different perspectives. One is from the coach's perspective. They can work with that member if they have an orthopedic issue that maybe they might want to address, or maybe that member, for whatever reason, might not end up being appropriate for a group class. We think everyone's appropriate for CrossFit, but not necessarily everybody might be appropriate for a group class session. So this is a good opportunity to get members coming in. If they have an orthopedic issue, we can give them common substitutions, accommodations, or maybe if we feel like they need a little extra training before they come to the group class, we can have that conversation. In either case, we're not flying blind. We don't have just people coming into our gym not knowing what their backgrounds are, not knowing what their issues might be, and not, again, potentially having an issue of a lack of safety if someone has something that you might not know about coming in. So screening members is another huge part of why we do foundations. Let's talk about why foundations are important. So essentially what you're doing is you're investing in your members at the most important time in their training career when they're brand new, right? We want to create better members. If I have somebody rolling in off the street, I don't really know what their background is, I don't know what their training habits are, I don't know anything about them, and they're going to be a little bit overwhelmed too coming in. So in foundations, we're able to create those better members by teaching them good training habits. So the coaches have an opportunity to teach them how to move well, how to ask questions, how to listen to their bodies, how to regulate their intensity. If they have any orthopedic issues, how to work around those. We also teach them good gym etiquette. So there's a big kind of fitness world out there. People are coming in from all different directions. But your own gym has its own culture, its own unique set of etiquette and rules that people kind of play by. So this is your opportunity to maintain that, to preserve that, to make sure your members know, hey, cheer for other people when they're finishing the workout. Put your equipment away. Don't stand right in front of somebody when they're snatching. All that little stuff that you might take for granted that goes a long way in making sure that the culture and the vibe of your group classes are consistent happens and starts in foundations. Finally, and maybe most importantly, is developing relationships. Someone comes into your gym cold off the street. They might not know anyone. They're overwhelmed by everything that's going on. They're going to leave feeling kind of confused and sort of ambivalent whether they want to join or not. In foundations, you have an opportunity to develop relationships with the coaches and also with other members. So if I'm in a class with 4 other people and I'm working with the same coach for 4 classes, I develop a relationship with those people. I develop a relationship with the coach. I get to trust them. I have rapport with them. And that's only going to increase my impulse to sign up for the gym to continue on versus coming in blind, not really knowing anyone, and then hoping that person sticks around. All right, so not only is it important for your new members, foundations is also really important for your current members and allows you to maintain group class quality. When you don't have a foundations program, what you have is this push and a pull between window shoppers and actual members. People who have just rolled into your gym, who want to get a workout in, who have no experience with CrossFit, don't know what's going on, versus the members who are already bought in and want to get better. So as an example, you're running Isabel that day, 30 snatches for time, relatively high technique workout. Someone comes in, they've never learned to air squat before. That coach has to give so much additional time to teach that person everything from the ground up to have them moving safely. And your members, on the other hand, are not getting the refinement they need, right? So you don't want your coach having to pull between teaching someone the fundamentals of what's going on in the first place to having somebody else who can have a potential PR, but they're not getting that coaching that they need and deserve as a group class member. So as a coach, it comes down to appreciating the learning environment, which is in foundations, versus the refinement environment, which is in your group class. When you try to put these two populations in the same place at the same time, both of them end up losing. And the last thing you want is to be spending all this extra time and attention on people who are window shopping your gym, who are coming in once and never coming back, and taking away from the experience of the members who are bought in, they're there, they want to get better, and they're going to end up resenting you and all those other people who are in their group class, taking away from time that they need to refine their skills and get better at CrossFit. All right, so let's talk about how we do this. I think 4 to 8 small group classes is sort of that sweet spot where you can get all the information in that you need in a timely and efficient manner. Anything less than 4 classes, I think you're cramming too much information into too short a window of time, and people are not going to develop the proper technique understanding of CrossFit they need to. So we always offer one-on-one foundations as an option, but we primarily use the small group class format to get people through our foundations program. We'll usually cap it at 6 people per cycle, and often we're looking at 3 to 6 people who sign up for each cycle that we have. We offer AM, midday, and PM cycles to allow people to filter into different parts of the gym so we can build our populations all throughout the day. One of the things that I see really commonly is CrossFit gyms offer only one-on-one foundations. On paper, that might seem nice. The problem with that is that you're really limiting your ability to add members to your program. So, as an example, last year we did 266 foundation signups, and our foundations program is 4 classes, so that works out to 1,064 classes. In a group class environment, that's not that bad to get a bunch of people through those classes. If you're having to do everything one-on-one, over a year, that works out to about 88 sessions per month, okay? And most gyms don't have the manpower, the space, the ability to schedule 88 novel sessions into their gym every month. So again, by doing one-on-ones, you're really limiting your ability to get new members in, to get people socializing, and get them into the group class format. All right, so when we designed our foundations program, we wanted to structure it like a group class, so people could roll out of foundations and have a pretty good idea of how things are going to flow when they come into the formal group classes. So how we did that is we usually have kind of a lower skill warm-up in the beginning, where we review some new movements, some higher skill barbell movements in the middle, and then we'll get on to kind of a lower skill Metcon. So they get used to that kind of context of warm-up, lift, WOD. Your gym might not run like that every single class, and ours certainly doesn't, but again, it's a good format to develop some familiarity with what happens in a group class. We divided our classes into a couple different archetypes: squat archetype, hinge archetype, push-pull, and snatch. So in class 1, we review basic air squat, push-up, and then we focus on back squat and front squat. Get some time for them working out of the rack, get a little bit of weight on the bar, begin to establish some initial numbers on those movements. And then we finish with a 4-time workout of jump rope and sit-ups. So they get a little bit one-on-one on the jump rope, they learn how to do the sit-ups, and they get exposed to that first workout format of 4-time. In class 2, we have a hinge pattern. So we start with something a little bit more static, a little more rudimentary, the kettlebell deadlift, and then go dynamic with the kettlebell swing. They've learned the basic mechanics of how to hinge. Now we're going to take that same archetype and we're going to bring it to a barbell. So we start with a barbell deadlift, get a little loading on that, talk about that movement. Then we work them into a hang power clean. Same thing, start with a little bit more static and go into a little bit more dynamic of a movement. Afterwards, we finish again with a little couplet of box jumps and burpees, and we do that as an AMRAP. So now have that exposed to both a 4-time and an AMRAP style workout. In class 3, we go over push-pull. So our warm-up, we talk about ring rows and pull-ups, different variations that we'll use within the gym on that. And then we'll get into our press, and push jerk work for our barbell lift to learn how to get overhead. And then we finish out with a row thruster EMOM. So again, a third format that they become familiar with out of foundations. In our last class, we go over the snatch. So I do think the snatch is a bit unique. It's the most technical lift that we do in CrossFit, and we kind of developed the foundation here of some other movements and positions that we can kind of focus on the snatch a little bit more in that last class. We'll often start with something like a Bergener style warm-up with the PVC to get them acclimated to the movements. We'll work a little bit over at squat, that foundational position, and then we'll work snatches, usually hang power snatches in the beginning to get them exposed to that movement. And finally, we'll finish with a wall ball and burpee ladder, so 1-1, 2-2, or any kind of variation you want. So it's important that at the end of foundations, they've been exposed to all the primary movements you're going to see in group class. It might not be every single thing, but it's going to be the majority of what they'll be expected to know in a group class. They've also been exposed to different formats for workouts. So they come in and they understand what's an EMOM versus a 4-time workout. And like I said in the beginning, they've been exposed to the basic format of how a class is going to run. So here's our cycle. Again, you can expand that, you can make it longer, you can try to make it shorter, you can mix it up a little bit. There's kind of no one right way to do this, but this way has worked really well for us. And it's something that I'm sure, a couple months or a year down the line, we'll probably tweak this a little bit and make it a little bit different. But if you're just starting your foundations program or thinking of revising it, you can use this as a jumping off point for some things to think about, how to program that foundations cycle, and how to get your members ready for group class format. So hope this stuff helped. We talked about what foundations is all about, why we think it's important, and how we do it at CrossFit South Brooklyn. So our challenge to you is steal this information, make it your own, make it better.